My name is Jasmine. I'm 27 years old this year. I am a yoga instructor and also most recently the founder of Yoga Lab. Before this, I was in banking. So I was in banking for in total about 5 years. And then after 3 years, I decided to just quit the banking world and then become a full-time yoga instructor. So initially I was just freelance. And then after a while, I decided that the location was right, the time was right, and I opened my own yoga studio. I think when I was thinking of quitting my banking job, one of the biggest thing was to give up a certain kind of lifestyle that I was used to, because the only way I can justify my lifestyle was the paycheck that I was getting. I wasn't sure if I was ready to not enjoy things that I'm so used to enjoying. When I was in the banking world, life was more comfortable. Monthly pay was fixed. So even if I take one day off work, I know that at the end of the month I still get the same amount. When I became a yoga instructor, that changed. It really depended on how much I am willing to work. So at some months when I'm really tired, I would work the extra hour just to get that extra amount of money. I believe the true form of success is when you are happy doing what you're doing. You are excited to get up, excited to start the day, and even if the day is super tough, it is worth it. I think I can only speak from my line of work. I think in my line of work as a lady, you're dealing with contractors. You're dealing with men who would potentially intimidate you. You're dealing with people or maybe even investors that you might meet that would think, she's not up to it, she's too young, she might get married in a few years, she might have a kid, and then she's not going to focus on the business so much. So I think although right now there's not so much social prejudice against women being able to do well at her work, but I think there's still this prejudice against women who would potentially get married or get a family and neglect their business. And that's the one big thing that I'm facing right now, that investors will always ask me that, so when are you planning to get married? After you get married, so are you going to have a kid? And what happens to Yoga Lab after you have a kid? And I find myself having to draft an answer just to convince them. When I was really young, I would spend every single cent I have in the bank. It got to the point where I realized that when I wanted a bag, I was waiting for the 15th of the month when my money would come in, and the moment the money come in, I would cut a check to the person who sold me the bag, and then now I'm back to zero. That's why when my dad cut me the check, I was like, wow, this is a lot of money, maybe I should buy 10 bags. And when I became a yoga instructor, that's not going to work, because as a freelancer, you don't have that monthly pay. You're not going to know whether the next month you're going to do as well as the previous month. Now my philosophy with money is, as long as I can cover 5 times of my expenses, that means if the thing is $20 and I have $100, as long as I can cover 5 times, I am comfortable to buy that item. Learn more financially, I guess. It comes down to how to bookkeep my own company so I don't have to pay someone to do it. It helps you to watch your costs a lot more, and also gives you a better idea of how things are going every single day, instead of having to wait for someone to give you a report at the end of the day or at the end of the month. So I think that bit I really do want to catch on. When I first started out, I had a mentor. My mentor was basically my boss from the studio that I used to work at. So she has experience running a studio. So she was also nice enough to share all her experiences with me. Without all her contacts, her expertise, I don't think that would have been possible. So having a mentor really, really helped initial phase of the business. But at that point, I also garnered a decent following, and people in Singapore already knew who I was. So that made the transition to a yoga teacher a lot easier. Social media kept me going, paid some of the bills. Now Yoga Lab, I have not paid for a single cent of marketing. We are running based on free marketing, and it's been running for a month, and I'm really, really happy at how it's doing now. Everything that we're doing is just based on Instagram, based on the following that I've garnered, based on the followings that my teachers have. And people have been coming. Every single day, I have not had to cancel a single class until this day. So that's the power of social media. I am shocked myself, but it is possible. In terms of Yoga Lab unique selling point, I always wanted to bring the culture of affordable yoga into Singapore, because in Singapore and in Hong Kong, it's shocking the amount of money you pay for yoga. Yoga Lab's idea is simple. I'm gonna only charge you for a kick-ass yoga class. We're gonna be the McDonald's of the yoga world. Basically, sell happy, sell cheap. Trust your gut. If you know it would work, go for it. Like, I always tell my teachers who are in transition of leaving their corporate world to become full-time teachers that if you have an inkling, then it's probably your gut telling you to do something. You will never feel ready, but you just have to take the leap. I've come to realize that being successful doesn't equal money. Being successful without happiness, feeling so empty about your life, feeling so empty and so sick and so tired all the time is just not what I would now define as success. So I took the leap anyway, despite everyone telling me not to do it, and I have never looked back. It's the best decision.